be sleeping, but you turned to face the dark and said, tell me something real, something hidden, something hard. So I gave you one I buried underneath a decade's weight. And when I finished, you were quiet. Then you said thank you, and the silence wasn't strange. Tell me something nobody knows about you, the thing you hide behind your laugh. Tell me something nobody knows about you. I want the chapter, not the half. I'm not here for the version everyone gets. I want the draft before the edit. Tell me something nobody knows about you, and I'll give you mine in return. You told me something soft about the way you felt at 10. The fear you never shook, a dream you packed away, and then you stopped and said, I've never said that out loud before. And I held it like a newborn, something fragile at its core. Tell me something nobody knows about you, the thing behind the thing you say. Tell me something nobody knows about you, the part that never sees the day. I'm not collecting secrets, I'm not keeping any score. Tell me something nobody knows about you, so I can love you more. This is how you fall in love, not in the daylight with the show, but in the dark at 2:30, when someone says I'll go first and means it, and the other one says okay, and the walls come down, one whisper at a time. Tell me something nobody knows about you, and I'll carry it with care. Tell me something nobody knows about you. I want every layer that's there, not to fix you, not to judge you, just to know your past, your name. Tell me something nobody knows about you, and nothing between us will ever be the same, in the most beautiful way. Your turn. Tell me something. I'm listening. I'll always be listening. Side of the bed, it's only been a couple hours since you kissed me at the door, but the whole room feels too quiet, and the bed feels like a floor. I rolled over to your side without even thinking twice, and your warmth is barely there, but I hold on to what's left of the night. Your side of the bed still feels like you. Your side of the bed is the closest thing I have to your side of the bed. Your scent is in the fabric, somewhere between sleep and skin. I pull your pillow closer, like I'm pulling you back in. The ceiling looks so different when you're not here pointing out. The shapes you swear are hidden that I never see without you now. Your side of the bed still feels like you. Your side of the bed is the closest thing I have to truth. It's just one night, I know I'll see you by tomorrow's end. But right now I'm holding on to your side of the bed. It's funny how a person can become your sense of home, so deeply woven into every corner that one night alone feels like a whole geography has shifted underneath. And the bed's still a bed, but it lost the thing that let me sleep. Your side of the bed is cold tonight. Your side of the bed doesn't feel right without the weight of you beside me, without you breathing in the dark. Your side of the bed is where I left my heart. Is where I left my heart. Your side of the bed, come home soon. It's too quiet here without you. Too bright, too fast, too close to turn back. You walk in and the room gives way, like all the dark forgot to stay. My hands go still, my pulse goes loud, and every thought falls out the crowd. I never learned this kind of fire, the kind that starts beneath desire, the kind that takes a careful heart and tears the locked up doors apart. No cool left, no place to hide. You hit my chest like summer light. Too bright to hide, that's what you are. A fever in the blood, a midnight star. Too bright to hide, too wild to lose. I was barely living till I lit in you. Even your silence has a spark. It moves like color through the dark, and every ordinary thing turns dangerous when you walk in. I used to trust in self-control, in tidy rooms and lower tones. Now one look from your electric eyes can start a storm behind mine. If this is reckless, let me fall. I'd rather burn than not at all. Too bright to hide, still running through across the floor. Lost myself in love before, become a shadow of a guess. Started speaking in their voice, forgot the pieces that I'd left behind in rooms where I had been, the person I had grown to be. And every time the love would end, I'd have to find my way back to me. It's different from the start. You don't ask me to fold in, you don't ask me to forget the version that I came in. You like the parts that aren't you, you like the parts that disagree. You don't want a copy, you want me, the actual me. Disappear in this love, and that's the rarest thing. I don't disappear in this love. I keep my voice, my whole own ring. I'm more myself when I'm with you, not less, not folded down. I don't disappear in this love. I become the man I always was, of every other crowd. You celebrate the things I love, even when they're not for you. You ask me about my friends like they matter, and they do. You don't compete for my interior, you just take your warm place there. Of every other crowd. Oh, this is what people don't tell you about the right kind of love. It doesn't ask you to become, it just asks you to be enough, to be exactly who you are, and let that be the gift. I don't disappear in this love, I expand. I expand into the man you saw before I even knew he existed. I don't disappear in this love, I am here more than I have ever been here. I don't disappear in this love, and there's nothing I have to clear out of the way to keep you, nothing of me to subdue. I don't disappear in this love, I am whole alongside you. I don't disappear, and neither do you. We are two whole people, building one whole life, without losing ourselves, without losing each other. low light, slow air. You're already everywhere. Curtains breathing in the dark, blue lamp leaning soft and warm, your shadow moving through the room like something silk and half in bloom. No hurry in the way you turn, no wasted word, no need to burn. You let the silence do its part and move like music through my heart. Come closer, don't break the view. The whole night looks better on you. Low light on your skin, that's where the night begins. Soft enough to pull me in, slow enough to stay. Low light on your skin, every breath feels paper thin, like one touch could let love in and wash the dark away. Your fingers tracing on the glass, rain outside but we outlast. The city hums beneath the floor, but I don't hear it anymore. You say my name without a rush, and everything in me turns hush. I never knew a room this small could make the whole wide world feel full. Stay near, don't speak too soon. I want the whole blue hour to bloom. Low light on your skin, that's where the night begins. Soft enough to pull me in, slow enough to stay. Low light on your skin, every breath feels paper thin, like one touch could let love in and wash the dark away. No bright promises, no daylight claims, just the warmth of our unguarded names. If love can live in velvet air, then I have found it waiting here. Low light on your skin, still turning midnight into wind, still making all my edges thin, still making me believe. Low light on your skin, the safest danger I've been in. If this is where the night gives in, then let it give to me. The room stayed blue, and so did we. Before you I was breathing fine, hard-working lungs intact, but I was living on autopilot, going forward, never looking back. Not sad enough to call it sadness, not lost enough to call it pain, just a man on mute, walking through a world that looked the same every day. Then you pointed at something ordinary, a color I must have seen 1,000 times, and said, "Isn't that beautiful?" And I looked again, and the whole world redesigned. Not because it changed, but because you made me curious about a life I'd been ignoring while I was busy being serious. You make me wanna be alive, not just breathing, really here. You make me wanna be alive, with all my senses sharp and clear. I taste my food again, I hear the rain again, I notice how the evening bends. You make me wanna be alive, and that's the deepest love there is. I catch myself looking forward now to mornings I used to skip, to conversations I'd have avoided, to the ordinary trip between the bed and the beginning of another unnamed day. But you turn the unnamed into something that I'd fight to keep away from. You make me wanna be alive, not just breathing, really here. You make me wanna be alive, with all my senses sharp and clear. I taste my food again, I hear the rain again, I notice how the evening bends. You make me wanna be alive, and that's the deepest love there is. You didn't save my life, that's not what this is about. You just made existence something I stopped wanting to tune out, like someone turned the volume up on a song I'd been ignoring, and suddenly each note was clear, and every single one was gorgeous, every ordinary one. You make me wanna be alive, on purpose every single day. You make me wanna be alive, not as escape, but as a stay. I wanna grow old and feel it, wanna see each season turn. You make me wanna be alive, and that's the thing I never thought I'd have the courage left to learn. The most important thing I've learned. You make me wanna be alive. Thank you for making ordinary feel like enough, for making enough feel like everything. Before the world gets in, before the armor goes back on, there's this version of your voice that only lives before the dawn. It's slower than your normal, slower than the day allows, like your throat forgot to hurry, and your words come wrapped in clouds. Your morning voice is my favorite sound on earth, your morning voice. Before you know what you're worth, before the coffee, before the mirror, before you remember who you're supposed to be. Your morning voice is the realest thing you give to me. You say good morning like a question, like you're asking if I'm real. You stretch one word across 3 seconds, and I feel it head to heel. Sometimes you don't say anything, just a hum that finds my name. And that half-asleep vibration puts the sun itself to shame. Your morning voice is my favorite sound on earth, your morning voice. Before you know what you're worth, before the coffee, before the mirror, before you remember who you're supposed to be. Your morning voice is the realest thing you give to me. The world gets the polished version, the laugh you've learned to shade, the volume that you calibrate for every single space. But I get the unedited, the version with no walls, the voice that hasn't woken up enough to build them at all. And that's my privilege. Your morning voice, I wish I could record it every day. Your morning voice, before it fades away, that 3-second window between the dream and the real. Your morning voice is the softest thing I'll ever feel. The softest thing. Your morning voice. Say something, anything. I just want to hear it one more time before you wake up all the way. Don't love me when I'm winning, when the room is chanting my name. Don't love me at my brightest, when it's easy, when there's fame. Those versions come with gravity, they pull everyone in. I wanna know if you'd stay for the version in between. Love me at my ordinary, when there's nothing to applaud. Love me at my ordinary, when I'm quiet and I'm flawed. Not the dinner party version, not the one who knows the room. just a man who came home. I'll get older and get slower, I'll forget the things I knew. My best stories will get dusty, and the crowd will thin out too. The invitations will stop coming, and the phone won't ring as much. And I need to know if that version still deserves your touch. Love me at my ordinary, when there's nothing left to prove. Love me at my ordinary, when ambition becomes a groove. Oh, not the fire you fell for first, but the ember that remains. Love me at my ordinary, and I'll never need the flame. Never need the flame, because everyone loves the monument, but who loves the man beneath the stone, who sits in his own silence and wonders if he's known, not for what he's built, but for who he is at rest. The version with no resume, no punchline, no impressive best. Just this, just me, just this. Love me at my ordinary, when the extraordinary fades. Oh, love me at my ordinary, on the unremarkable days. And I'll love you at your ordinary, when the sparkle takes a breath, because ordinary together is the most extraordinary thing that we'll ever get. The most beautiful thing. Love me at my ordinary. That's all I ask. That's the only love that was ever meant to last. You read the recipe out loud like it's a speech you need to nail. I nod like I understand, but we both know this could fail. You taste it once and make a face, I taste it twice and lie. You bump into me reaching up, and neither of us minds. It's never gonna be a masterpiece, but that was never why we're here. I love cooking for two, even when we burn the whole thing down. I love cooking for two, with you dancing me around. We'll order something later, like we always do, but I love every wasted minute cooking for two with you. You've got a little something on your cheek, know the other side. I wipe it off and you grab my wrist and pull me in and smile. The timer's going off again, we both forgot the thing. But honestly, who needs a perfect meal when you've got everything? I love cooking for two, even when we burn the whole thing down. I love cooking for two, with you dancing me around. We'll order something later, like we always do, but I love every wasted minute cooking for two with you. Some couples take a cooking class, some couples get it right, but we're the kind who set the alarm off and still call it a perfect night. The mess is half the memory, the laughter is the meal, and somewhere in the chaos, this is the most in love I feel. I love cooking for two, even when it all goes wrong. I love cooking for two, it's our favorite little song. The one nobody hears, the one that's just for us. Cooking for two with you is more than enough. It's more than enough. Cooking for two. So should we just order? Yeah, let's just order. I love you though. For work this morning, glanced back at the door. You were standing in the window, right where you had been before. Most people would have turned by now, back to coffee, back to phones. You were just there watching, like seeing me leave was its own song. I waved and you waved back. I kept walking, then I turned again. You were still there, smaller now, but waiting for the very end. When I would round the corner and you couldn't see me anymore, you don't rush back to your morning. You give me the whole way to the floor of wherever I am going. You watch me walk away, and you don't turn until I'm gone. You watch me walk away, and it's the smallest thing, but it's the longest love song I've ever been given, the kind that says I see you until I really, really can't. You watch me walk away, and in that watching I am held. At the airport last December, you stayed past security. You didn't have to wait there. You You weren't going through with me, but you stood at the glass divider until I disappeared from view. And I cried quietly walking because nobody else has watched me through. You watch me walk away, and you don't turn until I'm gone. You watch me walk away, and it's the smallest thing, but it's the longest love song I've ever been given, the kind that says I see you until I really, really can't. You watch me walk away, and in that watching I am held. The world wants you to be efficient with your goodbyes, your stays. You spend your perfect minutes watching someone walk away, and in that gentle wasting, the love you give is real. You watch me walk away, and in that watching I can feel that I matter, that I really, really matter. You watch me walk away, and I take that with me. You watch me walk away, and every goodbye becomes a small, deliberate vow, a quiet, deliberate sign. You watch me walk away, and I keep going forward now, because you're always at the window, always watching, always mine. You watch me walk away, and you'll be there when I come back. I know it, I always know it. That's the gift. That's the gift. You don't know about the pain that kept me up at 4. You don't know I almost lost the deal that I said went smoothly at the door. You don't know about the call from Mom that left me sitting in the car, because you came home heavy, and I didn't want to add to what you carry far. What I don't tell you is sometimes the loudest love. What I don't tell you is the weight I quietly hold up. Not because I don't trust you, not because we're not close, but because I'd rather hold the heavy thing than make you hold both. Than make you hold both. I'm not lying when I say I'm fine. I'm just choosing what to share. You'll find out the small things later, when you've had your share of air. Tonight I wanna hear about your day. I wanna know what made you smile. I'll bring my list 'cause I'd rather hold the heavy thing than make you hold both. Than make you hold both. But this isn't martyrdom, and this isn't lying small. I do tell you eventually, when the storm has had its fall. You always know the truth in time. I never keep it locked away. I just sometimes choose the silence that lets us have today. That lets us have today. What I don't tell you tonight, I'll tell you when you've rested. What I don't tell you tonight won't be a secret kept and tested. It's just a love that knows the timing, a love that does and don't. What I don't tell you tonight is what makes me trust enough to tell you ever, in a way that lifts us up. What I don't tell you, ask me tomorrow, I'll have it all for you. Just not tonight. Tonight is yours.
Before the towers changed their names, we had the night.
The avenue was wet with rain, taxi lights and window flames. Your leather jacket, cherry mouth, my shaking hand, not knowing how. We walked past stores already closed, past subway steam and dark and gold. The city sounded young back then, like it might never end. When the avenue was ours, we were brighter than the bars, brighter than the signs above, running on a reckless kind of love. When the avenue was ours, we could outrun broken hearts. Now the street still knows our names, even if the years have changed.
You bought me coffee, black and sweet. We stood beneath the simmer heat. You laughed and all the midnight air turned holy just because you were there. I thought the world would always stay in blue neon and borrowed haze, but youth is quick and mercy small, and time outdrives us all. Still some nights I swear I hear your footsteps coming near. There's a new sign where our corner stood, a coat of gloss on the neighborhood. But if I close my eyes just right, you're turning toward me in the light. Your perfume rain, the traffic hum, the ache of all we would become. All of it lives under my skin, like it never left, like it never dimmed. When the avenue was ours, we were brighter than the bars, brighter than the signs above, running on a reckless kind of love. its past. When the avenue was ours, and for one red light the whole city turns back.
No scene, no shattered glass, just the quiet ache of watching pass. Still the light stayed on your sleeve, like summer could not make itself leave. And even when the road turned pale, your warmth kept burning through the veil. Golden hour goodbye still burns soft behind my eyes. Not a wound, not just a flame, more like light that kept your name. Golden hour goodbye, beautiful enough to survive. Sunrise don't stay, but they still shine long after the last goodbye. The fields were low, the air held dust, the radio sang of love and trust. I almost called, I let it go. The sky said more than I could know. The real you filled with amber smoke, the kind that rises after hope. And all at once I understood, some endings still can leave you good. What leaves can still be lovely, what breaks can still be true. And sometimes the kindest ending is light falling over you. No bitterness, no blame to hide, just the sun going down on our softer side. Golden hour goodbye, you were not the end of life, you were just the tender line where love became another kind. Golden hour goodbye still glows warm when day turns blue, and every dust that leans to gold brings a little back of you. The sun went down, gold stayed on. I never used to slow down for anyone or anything. I thought that moving fast meant I was winning something. Then you taught me how to pause, not with a lesson or a speech, just by standing still beside me, till I noticed what I'd miss. I learned it from you, how to be gentle with my time. I learned it from you, that being soft is not a crime. The way I hold the people close to me, the way I breathe before I speak, I learned it from you. And I'm a better man this week than I was the last. I used to fight my way through sorry, like the word would make me small. You showed me how to say it first, and how that's the bravest thing of all. I used to think that love meant giving till you're empty on the floor. You taught me love is also knowing when to close and guard the door. I learned it from you, how to forgive without a score. I learned it from you, that keeping count just starts a war. The way I listen now for real, the way I stay when things get hard, I learned it from you. And you don't even know you're the reason I've come this far. You never sat me down and said, now here's the way to live. You just existed near me, and I absorbed the way you give your patience, your attention, your refusal to be cruel. The finest things about me are the things I stole from you. I learned it from you, how to be quiet and be kind. I learned it from you, that strength is knowing your own mind. And when my children ask me someday where I learned to love this way, I'll tell them everything I know. I learned it watching you each day. I learned it all from you. I learned it from you. Everything good in me started with you. Everything. Every morning I'm already up, watching the world come back to you. Your eyes still closed, your breath still slow, but your hand is reaching through the space between us, finding mine. Without you knowing what you've done, your body wakes up loving me before your day's begun. You don't open your eyes for a while, you just hold what you found. Like the first task of being awake is making sure I'm around. Then a small smile almost shy, before your face is even on. You wake up looking for me, like that's where every morning goes. The way you wake up looking for me is the proof I never asked for. The way you wake up looking for me says everything I needed to know, more than any words you've ever said, than any vow you've ever made. The way you wake up looking for me is the deepest thing displayed by a body that's not even thinking yet. I've watched you do this every morning for longer than I can count. Your hand reaches out the same way, like a beautiful daily account of where I am in your nervous system, where I've taken up your space. The way you wake up looking for me is the most unguarded face of how completely I am yours. The way you wake up looking for me is the proof I never asked for. The way you wake up looking for me says everything I needed to know, more than any words you've ever said, than any vow you've ever made. The way you wake up looking for me is the deepest thing displayed by a body that's not even thinking yet. Your conscious mind can lie, your conscious words can fade, but the body that wakes up reaching is making something it doesn't have to make. A choice before there is a choice, a love before the day. The way you wake up looking for me is the love I'd never doubt away. I'd never doubt away again. The way you wake up looking for me will outlive every word. The way you wake up looking for me is the truest thing I've heard from any version of you that wears the daylight clothes. The way you wake up looking for me is the answer that nobody knows but me, just me. The way you wake up, and your hand finds mine before you even know that you're awake. And I love you with everything I have, for doing it. Without trying. I've lived in 7 different places, changed my walls, changed my view, but I never felt like I belonged until I walked straight into you. It wasn't sudden, wasn't loud, more like a breath I'd held for years. Finally letting go because something whispered you're safe here. You feel like home, not the kind with walls and doors. You feel like home, like the thing I was searching for before I even knew I that I hear your voice, the way my jaw unclenches, like my body made a choice. Before my brain could understand, before the logic caught up to every cell inside of me relaxes when it's next to you. You feel like home, not the kind with walls and doors. You feel like home, like the thing I was searching for. Before I even knew I'd lost it, before I knew it had a name. You feel like home, and I never wanna leave again. Never wanna leave. I spent my whole life building places I could stay, but none of them could hold me the way you hold me at the end of a long day. Not with your arms, but with your presence, with the way you say my name, like it was always meant to sound that same. You feel like home, the only home I'll ever need. You feel like home, in every language, every creed. Not a place I'm going back to, but a person I'm becoming near. You feel like home, and home is finally here. Home is finally here. You feel like home. I'm home. I'm finally home. I found it in you. You were standing at the window, doing something boring with your hand, and I was watching you from across the room, like a man who's understanding. For the first time, that the future doesn't need to be planned in detail. It just needs to be the version where you're standing in the same kind of light. I didn't mean to think it, the thought arrived fully formed. I see my future when I look at you, and the thought was warm. Not heavy, not a vow, not a thing I had to say. It was just what I knew, standing there on a Saturday. I see my future when I look at you, and I don't need to define it. I see my future when I look at you, and I've stopped trying to fight it. I used to need a 5-year plan, a list of certainties to hold. I see my future when I look at you, and the unknown doesn't feel cold. It just feels like ours. There are still questions about everything, the career, the move, The question of who's beside me has been answered fair and clear. You're the sentence in the middle, the constant in the math. I see my future when I look at you, and I don't need the rest of the path. I'll figure it out with you. I see my future when I look at you, and I don't need to define it. I see my future when I look at you, and I've stopped trying to fight it. I used to need a 5-year plan, a list of certainties to hold. I see my future when I look at you, and the unknown doesn't feel cold, it just feels like ours. I used to imagine the future as a place I had to control. Now I see it as a country where you're walking with me home. And the details don't matter, the route, the weather, the rest. I see my future when I look at you, and that's the only address I need on any map. I see my future when I look at you, and I'm not bracing for change. I see my future when I look at you, and I'm not afraid of strange days that haven't happened yet, days that will come with their weight. I see my future when I look at you, and we'll meet whatever's late. We'll meet it side by side. I see my future, and you don't even know. You were just standing there, and I saw the rest of my life. And I smiled, and you turned and asked me what, and I said nothing, but it was everything. The world calls you by your name, your mother calls you something sweet, your friends have their version too. Your boss has one that sounds complete, but none of them have heard the syllable that's only mine, the one that slipped out by mistake and stayed because it felt like life. The name only I call you lives in a language built for two. The name only I call you is the closest thing I have to prove that we created something private in a world that shares it all. The name only I call you is my favorite word to say at all. It started as a joke one evening, something silly, something small, but you lit up when I said it, like you'd been waiting for that call. Now it's how I wake you gently, how I calm you when you're scared, how I find you in a crowded room without a single stare. The name only I call you lives in a language to say at all. Everyone deserves a word that only one voice ever speaks, a sound that means I see you, I chose you, you're unique. Not a title, not a label, just a whisper in the dark that opens every door you have and goes straight to the heart. The name only I call you, I'll say it till my very last breath. The name only I call you will outlive every single word I've said, because it carries everything, the laughter and the tears. The name only I call you is the story of our years, the story of our years. The name only I call you. Come here, let me whisper it again, just for you, always just for you.
You came in under violet light, leather darkened eyes alive. The room got smaller when you smiled, like danger had a softer side. Outside the club, the taxis bled, red and gold across the web. Inside your hands found mine too soon, and I let the whole night bloom. No names, no proof, no morning in the room. No one sees us shine, that's what makes it mine. When the city shuts its eyes, you come alive in mine. No one sees us shine past the edge of closing time. We were never made for day, we were made for this blue fire. Rooftop air and lipstick smoke, half a vow and half a joke. You lean close enough to say nothing that the dawn could take. I know the daylight has its rules, its straight lines and its careful truths, but midnight wears a better face and lets me hold you without a trace. No crowd, no claim, just heat without a name. No one sees us shine, that's what makes it mine. When the city shuts its eyes, you come alive in mine. No one sees us that secret starts again. Oh, no one sees us shine, still the brightest thing I hide. If love was ever born for night, then this is where it survives by sunrise. We were small, but the spark stayed.
I sat beside you 40 minutes, saying absolutely nothing at all. You went about your evening like the silence wasn't strange to fall. You didn't ask me what was wrong, you didn't make a single guess. You let the quiet stretch around me and gave my mind a place to rest. Some people fill the air with questions, some people need to close the gap. You understand that being quiet isn't always being trapped. It's not a distance, not a warning, not a fight in disguise. Sometimes it's just my soul catching up, and you give me space inside. You let me be quiet, and you don't take it personally. You let me be quiet, and it's the kindest gift you give to me. I've spent my whole life performing, filling silence just to seem fine. You let me be quiet, and in that quiet I am finally mine. I'm finally mine. After enough hours I started talking, slow in pieces, half aligned. You listened like you had been waiting, but not waiting like a kind that made me feel I owed you reasons for the silence I had kept. You just received the words I had and honored every breath. You let me be quiet, and you don't take it personally. You let me be quiet, and it's the kindest gift you give to me. I've spent my whole life performing, filling silence just to seem fine. You let me be quiet, and in that quiet I am finally mine. You don't need me to entertain you, you don't need me to be on. You let me have the dimmer evenings without mistaking them for gone. That kind of patience is so rare, that kind of presence is so gold. You let me be quiet, and in your quiet I unfold. I finally unfold. You let me be quiet, and you stay anyway. You let me be quiet, and you don't make me pay for the time you'll listen.
You're across the room, talking to someone I've never met. Your hands are drawing shapes in the air like a secret alphabet. You lean in when you listen, like the other person matters most. And I'm standing here pretending to be busy on my phone, but I'm watching you talk to strangers and falling in love all over. I'm watching you talk to strangers and my heart just tips right over. The way you make them feel important, the way you give your whole attention. I'm watching you talk to strangers and I can't believe you're mine. I can't believe you're mine. You laugh at something they said and your whole face opens wide. You touch their arm so gently, like you've known them all their life. They don't know what I know. They don't see you in the morning or hear the way you hum off key, but I do, and that's the glory. I'm watching you talk to strangers and falling in love all over. I'm watching you talk to strangers and my heart just tips right over. The way you make them feel important, the way you give your whole attention. I'm watching you talk to strangers and I can't believe you're mine. I can't believe you're mine. People always fall in love with the version meant for them, but I get every version. The tired one, the brave one, the silly one at midnight, the stubborn one at dawn. I get every single version, and I love them all. I'm watching you talk to strangers and I see you like the first time. I'm watching you talk to strangers and I'm yours and you are mine. You walk back over shortly and ask me what I'm smiling for. I'll say nothing, just happy, but the truth is so much more. Oh, so much more. Watching you, you have no idea how beautiful you are when you're not even trying. You left in the cold of late July. Sun on the hood, no tears to dry. No crash, no scene, no shattered glass. Just the quiet ache of watching pass. Still the light stayed on your sleeve, like summer could not make itself leave. And even when the road turned pale, your warmth kept burning through the veil. Golden hour goodbye still burns soft behind my eyes. Not a wound, like light that kept your name. Golden hour, goodbye, beautiful enough to survive. Some loves don't stay, but they still shine long after the last goodbye. The fields were low, the air held dust, the radio sang of love and trust. I almost called, I let it go. The sky said more than I could know. The review filled with amber smoke, the kind that rises after hope. And all at once I understood, some endings still can leave you good. What leaves can still be lovely, what breaks can still be true. And sometimes the kindest ending is life falling over you. No bitterness, no blame to hide, just the sun going down on our softer side. Golden hour, goodbye, you were not the end of life, you were just the tender line where love became another kind. Golden hour, goodbye, still blows warm when day turns blue, and every dust that leans to gold brings the little back of you. The sun went down, the gold stayed on. I caught myself this morning smiling at the mirror like a fool, explaining to nobody why the thing you did last night was cool. I said you should have heard her, then I realized nobody's there. I'm giving my own reflection a full review of your hair. This is what you've done to me. I narrate you when you're gone. I talk about you to myself, and I don't even feel insane. I talk about you to myself while I'm walking in the rain, on the train, in the shower, in the gap between each breath. I talk about you to myself. And I'm my favorite audience. I replayed a joke you told me in the car alone at 5. Laughed so hard the person next to me thought I was losing my mind. I composited a whole speech about the way you eat your food. You take the best bite last, and I explained this to my rear view like it's the most interesting thing. I talk about you to myself, and I don't even feel insane. I talk about you to myself while I'm walking in the rain, on the train, in the shower, in the gap between each breath. I talk about you to myself. And I'm my favorite audience. My friends say I mention you in every conversation twice, but they don't know the half of it, because the real
show happens when I'm alone at night, giving myself your highlight reel, rating your expressions, debating which one makes me feel the most impossibly alive. The answer's always all of them. I talk about you to myself like you're the greatest story told. I talk about you to myself, and I never reach the end, because every day you add a page that makes the last one even better. I talk about you to myself, and I'll never run out of material. Never ever. I talk about you to myself. Oh, you're home. No, I wasn't talking to anyone, just thinking out loud about you again.
Alright, I love you in the things I do, not in the things I say. I check your tires when it's cold, I stay up till you're safe. I move the heavy things before you ask. I learn the foods that make you calm, but when you look at me and wait for words, my tongue forgets it all. It's easier to love you than to say it, easier to show than to explain. My hands know all the right translations, but my mouth keeps losing the refrain. I love you in 100 silent ways that never make it to the page. It's easier to love you than to say it, but I'm trying every day. Between my chest and lips, the feeling gets too heavy. It's not that I don't want to, it's that the words feel thin compared to what I'm carrying. They never fit it in. It's easier to love you than to say it, easier to show than to explain. My hands know translations, but my mouth keeps losing the refrain. I love you in 100 silent ways that never make it to the page. It's easier to love you than to say it, but I'm trying every day.
It's the sweetest kind of curse, the sweetest curse. Easier to love you